Hi, this is Summer, and welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's. Alright, so we've been going at 2020 mode for a few days now. My last main day that I was working on it was, I want to say, the 16th? But I've still practiced in between them, so I didn't lose everything. I think I've got it mostly figured out, for the most part. It's taking a lot of my brain power to just focus for 5 hours at a time on this thing before I'm gonna be like, okay, I need a break, I need a minute, you know, and I'll go more into really what's going on at the very end. But for now, I pretty much want to hop into it. Because you guys won't hear this before, I'm gonna be pretty much silent for the 7th night here, because I do not have the brain power to sit here and try to make active and fun commentary while trying not to die via Foxy probably being a hater about it all. For the most part, I think that's what's got me the most, is Foxy just being so aggressive, and it takes so long to get to like maybe a run where you might have a chance, and then you have to be perfect during that run. But anyways, like I said, we're pretty much gonna hop into it. Let's just see if I can get this done today, hopefully. Alright, hi, this is Sovereign, and this is just me coming back post and video editing, and I wanted to talk a little bit about really what the strategy was for the first part. Then there's a little break where I died a bunch of times, there's like a mini montage of all the times I died, and then we'll go into the strategy for the second part. So essentially, though, in this first clip, the first run that you're seeing, I wanted to show you really what I was doing in the beginning versus talking about what I was doing at the end. And then I also wanted to talk about why I couldn't win using this strategy. So at the very beginning, you couldn't see this, but essentially, my original idea was be attentive but smooth with it. So I was going a little bit slower when I first started to do my runs, because I was like, okay, well, if I have more time in between when I'm touching the light in the door and flipping up the camera, then I'm somehow conserving energy that way. And that's true. You do end up conserving a little bit more energy that way. Not a lot by any means or any stretch of the imagination, but like just a little bit. And the second thing that does, though, is it means that your reaction time is a little bit slower. So if you're really just not on the ball with this, you're not like really going at it so like hard, you're just not gonna be fast enough to catch the animatronics when they're actually bored. You'll lose to Bonnie, you'll lose to Cheek, or you'll lose to whoever wants to come get you, essentially, because you just won't have the reaction time. You'll be a little bit too slow. And so essentially I was like, okay, alright, we have to try hard the strategy. We have to really sit down, to really like put the whole self into trying this. Like, gotta sit up, gotta pay attention, I gotta be faster with it, gotta be more on point with it, essentially. And so essentially, like I said, like I've been saying, this is big bike strategy that Markiplier used to beat the FNAF 1. Why did I start with the strategy? Because I didn't know any better, essentially. In my very first video, I said, okay, I'm gonna go at this kind of organically until I can't anymore, and then I'm gonna use strategy. Well, the only strategy I knew was big bugs. That was it. Because my view on YouTube is so narrow to like maybe 3 or 4 different content creators, and I don't really watch anybody else outside of that. Why? I wasn't big on it as a child, and I'm just now essentially getting into watching other YouTubers do what they do. And I've had a really great time getting into it. So, but essentially what I'm saying here is I didn't have the awareness that there were other strategies, that there were better strategies. And so I went with this one. And what is the strategy, you ask? It's really simple. You just put the right door down every time you flip the camera up. That is it. That is the whole strategy. I thought that there might have been more to the strategy, but there really isn't. That was the whole strategy. The whole strategy is, you gotta flip the camera up to look at Foxy. You gotta put the right door down. And so half the time what was getting me is I was like, there were some times where I was sloppy and I just forgot to put the right door down before I put the camera up, because I was getting so like lost in this loop of door, monitor, light, door, you know what I mean? Like, whatever I was doing, the little loops that you used to me do here on repeat. I was getting so lost that I would forget where I was in my loop sometimes, or I'd be like, did I just check, or did I just go back and forth because I thought somebody else might be at the door? And so, there was really a lot going on there, too. And so, it was really just like me just going at this. And again, I would call this pretty organic because, like I said, I didn't know. I didn't do like any like research before I really started, and the research I did do was just being aware of big bug strategy, essentially, via Markiplier. And so, that was really the whole strategy, and that's why I chose this one. And if you watch not this one, because I know I did lose on this one. I think I lost to Freddy here. I think I got to the end and I lost. So, really what you'll see, especially in this little, like I said, there's like little minute and a half montage of some of the times where I failed in this particular recording that I did. And you'll see there sometimes I just stop moving the camera and I stop actively doing the cycle, is what I'm going to call it here. And the reason I stopped doing the cycle is because it was the second time Foxy was going to come hit my door. And this was already, I had already done, I did the bulk of my recording for this on the Tuesday before I recorded this particular clip that you're currently seeing. And on Tuesday, I had sat there for so long, and there was no way. And I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, well, if I don't have a chance to beat it, if Foxy hits my door twice, then there's no reason to continue going with that particular run. Because at that point, it was just a waste of time. And as I said before, I don't really have a lot of time to be sitting down and doing this all the time, forever, essentially. So as soon as, for some of my later runs, when I realized Foxy was gonna hit my door twice, I was like, let me just stop. And let me just start fresh with the new one, and maybe hopefully Foxy will be a little bit nicer. Because that's really what got me most of these runs, is that it really is, for this particular strategy, you have to be perfect at the perfect time. And if you even mess up for just a second, you're done. Nothing you can do. And you have to be so tight with pressing the buttons, pressing the door lights. And I know I was joking before, I was like, oh, it's my mouse. I did actually go out and get a new mouse for this, and I mean, I needed a new mouse anyways, but this was just the catalyst. And I will say that it's not like the mouse, it's not like the mouse that made a difference. I mean, I like my new mouse better, but it's not like it made that much of a difference between what I was doing and what I actually ended up doing here. And like I said, I just don't think I could have won this way. Even if, that was the other thing too. Even when I was near perfect at the perfect time, let's say I got to a point where I realized Foxy wasn't going to hit my door until 3 AM the first time, this phenomenon happens to you. And essentially what that is that at least for me personally, I started tensing up. And because I was tensing up and I got adrenaline, because I'd been sitting here for doing this for 5 hours, and that's a lot of time for me to sit down and focus. So I would just tense up and my heart would start racing and I'd start getting a little shaky, and that, in addition to everything else that was happening, was causing me to mess up more, especially when I needed to not mess up at all. So essentially what you're going to see here is I'm going to lose this run, and I just want to show this for you for the strategy I was using. We'll hop right into the montage that I'm going to see. This is a little bit of me dying to everybody, just because of skill issue, essentially. And then I'm going to go and explain the strategy I ended up using to win at the very end. Alright, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna... if this is gonna make it in, but thus far, I have been working with Markiplier's strategy, which was originally Big Bug strategy. And that strategy is every time you flip the camera up, you close the right door, right? Well, apparently there's another strategy that I hear is easier, so I'm gonna go ahead and give that a few tries and see if that makes a difference. I hear it's a lot easier, so hopefully this will allow me to do it. And originally, you know, I'm always like, oh, well, I want to do it how I want to do it, right? And I would love to do it using Big Bug strategy, because I think that's just a fun strategy, and I feel like it really you really prove yourself if you win that one. Props to anybody who's ever used that strategy to beat 420 mode for FNAF 1. But I don't think I was going to be able to do it. I know I'll explain why at the end, too. Like, why I don't think I was going to be able to do it. But I'm going to try this strategy a few times and see if it makes a difference. I mean, at the very least, from what I hear, at some point during the next 5 hours that I have planned to try to beat this mode, hopefully I at least hopefully I can just do it, man. I mean, really, I have been doing this for multiple days. I have over 5 hours of just footage of me failing. I cannot wait to see if I can get this done for y'all. Again, I'm not gonna be talking during this. I just don't have the capacity to do both at the same time. But I will go ahead, probably include something in post, just to let you guys know exactly what's going on. Alright, so I think I went ahead and I was quiet here again while I was doing this, because I really wasn't sure how this strategy was going to go for me. So let me explain this strategy. I believe his name is Ambience on YouTube, so shout out to that guy for explaining the strategy really well. His video is really clear and concise, so I'll go ahead and link that in the description, because it really helped me. And then there was a Reddit post that I first saw this on. I do not remember the post, I'm so sorry, but there was a Reddit post about which strategy is best to beat FNAF 1's 420 mode. And essentially, how I came about this is I was like, okay, clearly maybe I'm doing something wrong, maybe there's something in the original video that I missed, that I wasn't getting, so I went back and I watched, or I was looking up, I was seeing if there was any tips, like, in addition to whatever I was doing, to beat 420 mode, because at this point I was failing, and I was losing my attention, I was losing, like, my will, because it really, I'll say it in the end, it really was, like, sucking the life out of me. I was losing, like, my will to sit here and do it, and I was like, there's gotta be something that can help me with this. And so I did that, and they were like, oh, which strategy is best? And I was like, strategy? Like, there's a choice here? Like, there's more than one strategy for this? And yeah, there is. So essentially, this strategy relies on a few things I didn't know. So A, I didn't know there was a way to stall Freddy, period. I didn't know you could look at the east hall corner while he's there and look at him, and that stops him from moving, that stops him from moving into the office. I also didn't know that you could trigger Foxy to run instantaneously by looking at him in the hallway. And I also didn't know that no matter where you look in the camera, as long as the monitor is up, it stops Foxy. And so these were the things that I didn't know that maybe would have allowed me to either A, suss this. I probably could have come to a conclusion like this on my own had I known those two things. But essentially I watched the strategy, and the strategy is as soon as the game starts, you put your camera on the east hall corner and you leave it there. You check the door light, you flip up the monitor, you check the door light, you flip up the monitor, check the door light, flip the monitor, essentially, and you just rinse and repeat unless Chica comes to visit you. Now, if Chica comes to visit you, the whole thing is that at that point, you would go check on Pirate Cove. Because that door is down, the right door has to be down anyways, you might as well use that time to check on Foxy, to make sure that he's not peeking out of his Pirate Cove. Which he shouldn't be, because you're checking on him like twice as much, you know, during this time by just using this particular strategy. And so for this particular run, he actually didn't end up hitting at all. For me, and I didn't even see Freddy at the end. Even though this is my second time, I had the first run to just kind of get a feel for the technique, and then the second run, this is the run where I win. Is what you're looking at currently. And at the end of my video, here, you can tell at this point I was really tired, but just by the way I was talking about everything at the very end of my video, I'm gonna sound way less excited to beat 420 mode than I was about beating the 6th night. And genuinely going back, I think I was more excited to beat the 6th night, because even though the 6th night only took me like 50 minutes, I had used Big Bug strategy, and this night I was like, okay, well, let me switch. And this strategy is great. Had I known about the strategy sooner, I would have been thrilled. I would have just done this, the 6th night and this night, in the same video, as I say at the end. But the thing is, I didn't know. And because I got to the end and I was like, this would have been so easy, and I didn't need to waste a whole day and a half doing it the other way, I was like a little mad at myself for not doing like better research sooner. You know, and of course, you know, you live and you learn. You know, that is 100% my fault for not doing the research sooner. And nobody in my circle knew that there was different strategies, because I'm the only one who's like really big heavy into FNAF. In fact, approximately 12 hours and 50 minutes after this releases, I will be watching the FNAF movie on the 27th. And I'm so excited to get this done for y'all, though. So again, I'm just gonna let you watch the rest of this, but essentially that was the strategy that I did. And I did, in fact, beat 420 mode, and I was really, really, really excited about it. You know, I'm really excited in retrospect. I'm gonna sound so mad when the video ends, but I promise I was really super excited. It just took me minutes to get past the, oh my god, I wasted 6 hours of my life. But I had a really, really, really great time with this game. And with that, I'm pretty much just gonna let you watch it out. Thank you so much for joining me for this. Well, guys, there you have it. It is just that fucking easy. Oh my god. I am at a loss for words. That took me 2 tries. 2 tries with that. I could have gotten that done in the same episode I did night 6 had I just known. Oh my, well, that was so, I wasn't even stressed. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm just like in disbelief, guys. It has been 3 days. It's been 3 days. I have been trying to beat 420 mode with big bugs in Markiplier strategy, and it was sucking the life out of me. I didn't even realize there was a different route to go in to beat this mode. That was so easy. That was so much easier. Oh my gosh, guys. Wow. Oh my god. I'm so sorry. I am just at a loss for words right now. I am at a complete loss for words. I don't even have anything to say about that. That's wild. Oh my gosh. It just goes to show you guys, there is something to be said about doing your research before trying to take on what was called an impossible mode. Yeah, Jesus, anybody can beat that at this point. Oh my gosh. I'm going to go contemplate my existence. But that was me beating 420 mode for 5 nights at Freddy's. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's the 27th when I released this, so I'm also going to be releasing a compilation of all the times that I just sat there and I just failed. So, keep an eye out for that, because that should be a really funny video to watch, just me failing for hours on end. But thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you guys so much for checking in and tuning in, and all the love I've received for my 5 Nights at Freddy's playthrough. I would love to do the other modes, not the other modes at some point, because that was the hardest mode here. Oh my gosh, that was oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. I would love to play some of these other FNAF games. Like I said, especially Sister Location I'd love to get through. And especially Pizzeria Simulator, or FNAF 6 if that's what you want to call it. At some point, I'm just such at a loss for words right now. I'm gonna go collect my thoughts. Oh my gosh. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like the content, please remember to like and subscribe. But thank you guys so much for checking in and watching. I will catch y'all in the next video.